YouTube, this is Cami Frog Legs. I'm coming back to make another video. This one's going to be actually on, I have a little bit more time, so I'm actually going to talk about the Mass Communication Specialist A School. It is about 6 to 7 month long training, and that is just training days. It does not include any other standby time that you may have. Sometimes you get here, class is not starting yet, so you may be here for like up to a month before you actually class up, which kind of sucks, but at the same time it's kind of good for those people because they get a lot of their qualifications out of the way. They can get any medical stuff taken care of. They can take care of business before school starts, because when school starts it's really hard to go to medical and go to dental and take care of any finances. You just don't have time. You can't keep missing class. If you miss class, they take you out of class and you have to go in with the next class. So it helps when you're able to get all that stuff done before you start class. So the first week that you're here, like the week before you start school, they do what's called life skills, and it's basically, if you were to come straight out of high school, the stuff you would need to be an adult. Talks about cars, buying a car, taking out credit cards and loans, and all the different resources that you need for suicide prevention, drug and alcohol abuse prevention, sexual harassment, EEO issues, money, retirement. If you, as an adult, if you're over the age of 21 and you've done it in life, it's probably what that course is about. So it was kind of boring for someone who is 30 to sit in and listen to, because I know about all that stuff. I have my own car, I've bought a car, I have retirement, so it's boring, but it's informative for like learning the things that are command specific, like your drug and alcohol personnel, your suicide prevention personnel, learning about sexual assault information. So some of that stuff is actually worth listening to. Again, if you're young, it's very valuable for you as well. So after you do life skills, that's about a week, and then the following week you'll start class, and the first thing you'll do is journalism, or JO as we like to call it, and that's about 2 to 3 months long, that portion of the course. They start you off really slow. You write a sentence, and then you write 2 sentences, and then you write 2 pages, and then you go to writing 3.5 to 5 pages. So they work your way up, starting there. The course probably, I think they're changing the course, but I don't know what's being changed, so I'm not going to give you specifics as far as what's in the course, but I'm going to tell you like portions. So journalism, it's really cool. You got the basics of writing, and you write the things that you're actually going to write out in the fleet. So you'll write features out in the fleet, you'll write news stories out in the fleet, you'll get adverse news or initial release stuff that you need to put out. So change of command stories. So you have all these things that you learn how to write while you're in journalism. The next thing that you do is photo, and you have camera equipment. I think the Navy uses Nikon. So Nikon's a good brand. They have all kinds of Nikon stuff. So you learn how to use that. You learn the different techniques of taking a photo, what composition and 30-30 and the rule of thirds, and you learn all of that stuff. You learn how to properly expose a photo manually. You learn how to set your white balance. You learn how to zoom in, zoom out, what's a good photo. You are in depth into the photography world. That was probably one of my favorite portions of the course, because you can kind of let your freedom, your imagination run a little wild within the standards and confines of the work order. But you could still get creative with like backgrounds and and the way people were posed. So then after photography, we did videography, where we traded in our Nikons for a Panasonic video camera, and then we did video. So you learned spots, you learned how to do controlled and uncontrolled action, you learned what makes up a really good sequence, what works, what doesn't work, the different types of ways you'll use video out in the fleet. Heavy equipment, I will say it's probably the heaviest, bulkiest, cumbersome equipment you will carry here at Kinkos, but you'll like it. I really liked video. Then after video is multimedia, which is what I'm in now. I have 30 days left of school before I graduate. I think it's something like 18 training days. So the 30 days encompasses the weekend. So I have 30 days between now and graduation to finish up multimedia. And multimedia is just what it is. You make web pages, you make magazines, you learn to vector in Adobe Illustrator, you learn how to Photoshop images to make posters, you print work orders, you learn how to print things on all the different types of printers and what works, what doesn't work, how do you use the big giant cutter to mass cut things and mass staple things. So you learn how to use all this printing equipment, you learn how to use all the Adobe programs that you're going to need to use. You make coins, logos, magazines, class books, you memo pads, business cards. You pretty much could be a one person Kinkos. By the time you graduate, you'll be Kinkos at the end, because that's essentially what multimedia is, except you're also the graphic designer. So you're a graphic design Kinkos, which is pretty fun. I actually kind of like it, being able just to sit there and just sit in my little editing bay. After multimedia, you'll hit sea trials, and sea trials is 4 days, and you basically, it's a giant final of the entire course. So pretty much, if you did it during the course, you'll probably do it during sea trials, which is cool, because then it really tests what if you were able to learn the material that they needed you to learn. And then after that, you graduate, they cut you loose, you get your orders sometime during the multimedia functional area, and you'll know where you're going. In my case, as a future reserve MC, I already have my orders. I got my orders the moment I signed my papers. So I already know I'm going back to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and that will be where I go. From there, I'll be able to get assigned to a unit where I'll be able to do my weekends elsewhere besides in Chattanooga, which will be fun. I haven't really decided where I want to go yet. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, post them below, and I'll certainly get back to them as soon as possible. Hopefully this gives you a little bit more insight into the mass communication rate of the Navy. You know, it's here in Fort Meade, Maryland, at the Defense Information School, or DIMFOS. It's a really nice program. It's a great program. It's worth doing, and I've heard every MC say this is the best rate in Navy, and it truly is. You get to do so much, and people don't realize how much you get to do. So I'm looking forward to getting out in the fleet. I know my classmates are looking forward to getting out in the fleet. I hope to see, if any future MCs, I hope to see you guys out in the fleet. This is Cami Frog Legs, and I'm signing off.